literally priced out of every single life milestone.
You're working harder than ever. Everything costs more.
One day, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's the direction we're headed, with never-ending payments and never-ending subscriptions with never-ending price increases. And now, to fix affordable housing, we have the 50-year mortgage plan. It's almost like they want to work us to death. Because to be able to pay a 50-year mortgage loan, I can only imagine they're going to need to raise the retirement age. And if we're going from 30-year mortgage loans to 50-year mortgage loans, I guess we're going to go from retirement age being 67 to retirement age being 87. No thanks. I'd rather live in this. And that's my chicken coop.
Making homelessness illegal in a country whose minimum wage is $7.25 with a median rent of $1,400 is evil.
If you are a poor, like myself, you might be asking the question, how do people have money? How are they affording anything in life? And I'm here to tell you, they're not. How do I know? I'm a barista. I am. And today, the amount of debit and credit cards that were declined were astronomical. I'm talking the highest amount ever in one day that I've had to go up to people and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. Actually, this didn't go through. Do you have another card? And then them all giving me the same answer. Oh, really? No, I don't. And then leaving. Because, like, they're just giving me their cards, hoping, praying, not checking their bank account, just hoping it gets through so they can have a little caffeine to get them through their day. We don't have money. None of us have money, you know? They're just pretending they do, which sometimes works. Sometimes you have a few bucks just to get your coffee. Other times you don't. It was sad. It was a sad day. I also, during the holidays, this is the best tipping season. People love to tip during the holidays. And I know a lot of people feel weird about tipping. That's your business. I will tell you, it is the lowest tipping season I've ever had. And it's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad at it. I'm just letting you guys know where we stand. Economically, it's low. So if you're like, damn, I'm so poor, everyone else has money. We don't. None of us do. We're faking it, baby. We're pretending.
I got my electric bill for the month of November, and it's $300, and it hasn't even been cold yet. Last winter, I was paying up to $700 a month in the winter months. Yeah, $700. So what am I doing this year? I'm going to freeze. I'm keeping my thermostat on 55 when I go to work, and when I come home, whatever room I'm in, I'm going to turn the heat on in that room until it gets warm, and then turn it back again when I go to sleep. Because this is the life of planet Earth. You work just to pay your rent and your heat and your air, whatever the hell it is, okay? And then whatever's left, you get to go food shopping. So today, food shopping is a privilege. If you're lucky enough to have any money left after you pay your freaking rent and your utilities, you get to go buy food. There you go, rant over.
You know why I'm leaving this country? Because no one's going to do anything about this. We just found out some of the most horrific things, which if even a morsel of it is true, it's really bad. And no one's doing anything about it. So for those of you who are like, you should stay and fight, with whom shall I fight this battle? Because everyone's still, you know, boycotting Star Schmucks and McFolds and holding parades. And I'm not opposed to those things. I'm still doing those as well. But if that's all we're doing, yeah, we're just all going to sit in this escape and watch. We are no better than the audience members at the Coliseum. If you decide to actually fight, if anyone decide, and I know, I shouldn't, we need a leader. Great. There isn't one at this time. As soon as the fight actually starts and you guys decide, the majority decides to actually stand up to this shit, give me a call. I'll get on the first plane and come right back and help you out. Until then, I'm out.
Does anybody else just get like weird urges just not to be here anymore? Because that's where I'm at in my life. Like, I'm so sick of my life. And the only reason I'm here is because of my dog. What's up, bub? If I didn't have my dog, I would not be here. And it's really starting to hit me today for some reason. Like, I wish I had I don't know, friends, family. Just over it, to be honest.
I think this is about the truest statement going on in the world right now. I think that everyone is exhausted post-pandemic, the world, the exhaustion, the stimulation, the rhetoric. There is this constant pressure on everyone. And I think like capitalism, end of days kind of thing with like growth. And I'm not for it anymore. It's time to slow the down. I feel like I'm on the slow it down and catch my breath moment. Who's with me?
Does anybody else feel like there must be something real good coming, something real big coming, because all you do constantly is have warfare in your life in every single area? I know it can't be just me, because I've talked to so many people about this. It can't be. Like, if it's not one thing, it's another. Like, you literally don't get a break from anything. And it's constant stress, constant anxiety, constantly with one thing coming at you, and then you resolve that, and there's another one. Then there's another one. Then there's another one. Literally, people can't afford to pay their bills. It's bad in so many different areas. So does anybody else feel that right now, like spiritually, that like something big has to be coming, especially for the people of God, because there's no reprieve from any of this, and it just keeps getting worse, and you just feel like you get no rest, no break? Anybody else? Because it's been like this for me for a while, and I just feel like it's never gonna end. And I know it will, but one day, but it's just so discouraging and so hard, and so many people want to give up right now. Anybody else feel that way? I know you're out there. Somebody else has to feel the way that I do, because this is crazy.
This is the kind of home people love to judge, but in a housing market where a starter home is $350 to $400K, this might be the only shot normal Americans have left. Yep, it's a mobile home, not a luxury condo, not a McMansion, but it's safe, it's affordable, and it won't drown someone in debt. Everyone screams affordable housing, but when we show them the solution, suddenly they're too good for it. Make that make sense. Now we're giving this one a light upgrade, skirting repairs, power wash, fresh paint, a little bit of rehab, just bringing it back to life, but no bulldozers needed. The inside's not great, but it's not destroyed. Most investors would walk away, but we don't. We fix it. Now you can hate on mobile homes all you want, but you know what people really hate? $2,000 of rent and saving nothing. This little home provides privacy, storage, parking, a yard, and no shared walls with other tenants. We don't need more luxury housing. We need attainable housing. Homes normal people can own, not lease forever. Would you live here? Smart move or trash housing?
I live off grid. I started off in a 2-3 person tent from Walmart, like the cheap $30 one. And I recently just upgraded to a 16-foot or a 5-meter bell tent from Stout Tents. It's the double door version. It seems super durable, super sturdy. I did a lot of research on bell tents before picking this one. I'm going to live in this bell tent while I finish up the 10x12 starter cabin. Hopefully it'll be done in the spring, but I got this set up for the most part, not exactly how I want it, but again, it's getting dark out. So yeah, over here I plan on doing like my remote job and keeping my cooking supplies. I got this beautiful antique set from my grandma that her parents supposedly thrifted. That's gonna be one of my projects that I'm looking forward to, is redoing those and bringing them up to snuff, because I don't know how old they are, but they definitely need work. Beautiful, beautiful pieces though. And then I got my little side table stand thing. I'm gonna keep my books and like my knitting and my crochet projects to tinker on. And then I just got a little camping cot. Eventually, I want to switch this out for either a queen or a king, I'm not sure. And then this side's just got this extra space right over here. I do have a cutout for a camping stove. I'm not planning on getting a camping stove. I'm just going to tough it out this winter because I don't want to drop a couple $100s on that and then hopefully turn around next year and buy an actual wood stove for the cabin. The lowest it's been is 22 degrees, and I was perfectly fine in my 0-degree bag. A little bit chilly, but I put my blanket over my head and I was perfectly fine. I do have a negative 25-degree sleeping bag coming in. Can't wait for that. Pretty much just for insurance, and I do like to be on the hotter side. But yeah, this is the long-awaited bell tent, and I'm super excited to finally be in it. It's felt amazing waking up in, and the space is just, it's a blessing. Ironically enough, it's going to be bigger than the cabin, square footage wise, which is crazy to think, but yep.
It feels like we are in an emotional standoff in our society. Everyone needs support, and no one can give it. No one has the space for it. We're all collectively doing terrible. And as a millennial that has, I guess, lived through a lot of once-in-a-lifetime shit, the time I'm living in now feels unprecedented, and I think we're all feeling that. But I sort of say that because I feel bad for Gen Z and Gen Alpha or whoever that is, because those people have never known the old world, and us millennials were the last ones to know the old world, where despite the 2008 financial crisis and all that bullshit and 9/11 and how that changed everything, when I was a kid and when I was a teenager, I was getting older and going into the world with the expectation that more or less I was going to have a normal life, and there was never a thought about anything like this happening like it is now. However, that could have just been me not paying attention to the warnings that were there. But I do feel like everything happening now is mostly unnecessary, with the exception of climate change. That shit was always coming for us, and we were always going to pay for that, and there was always going to be consequences for the way we have lived in a capitalistic society that pretends that we live on a finite planet, and the way we just consume and consume and produce and just make stupid plastic bullshit, and just the way we've destroyed the earth for mass farming and mass factory farming and all sorts of stuff. So there are always consequences, but I think we all are living the completely unnecessary consequences of just greed. Greed and power will be what ends humanity.
I'm slowly coming to the realization that we are the generation that has to do something, and it's one of the most difficult realizations to accept. All throughout history, we've learned and watched some of the worst atrocities be handled by groups of people who had to stand up and do something about it. And I think we've been conditioned to be more comfortable observing from a distance than getting rid of our discomfort. Whether you are pro-life or pro-choice or pro-Second Amendment or anti-guns or religious or atheist, we are living in an era where we have to behave differently right now. We've grown up reading about all of these revolutions and all of these stories of these people fighting back against power. We've watched these movies and TV shows telling these great stories about these heroes that got together and fought the odds. And I think we are unfortunately living in the generation that has to be the people who do that. Because every single day we are witnessing more and more evil come out from its hiding place. And I know it's so easy to just hope and wait for someone else to be the first one to do something, but I honestly don't think that we have much time. We're living in an age where we can organize groups of people and communicate with strangers across the world instantly. And I don't know what needs to be done. I don't know how to even begin doing what needs to be done, but I'm willing to try and at least get people together so we can figure it out. Because at the end of the day, I have so much more in common with the pro-life, pro-Second Amendment Christian that lives next door to me than I ever will with the top 1% multi-billionaires of the world. So aside from all of these social issues that we could debate on endlessly, leave a comment and just let me know that I'm not the only one realizing this, because it's honestly a very isolating feeling when just walking around.